USS Arizona Memorial. I'm going to be your narrator today on this BM2 Sislo. So I'm going to also elaborate why we're not going to be able to get on board today. So when we actually get out to the memorial today, you'll see a floating dock in front of the memorial. That floating dock has an anchoring system underneath, and that anchoring system actually started coming loose last May. And it became a safety hazard where the brow, or the part where that you can connect the dock and the memorial itself, started becoming just a little too unsafe for people to walk. And it's actually going to be opened up in the fall, so if you're in Hawaii in the fall, we'd love to have you out, get on board the Arizona and actually truly experience it. So again, like I said, I'm going to narrate the tour for you guys. Right now, we are in the south channel of Pearl Harbor. So if you look off to your left, that is Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam. That is still your active base. That's where your sailors and airmen are till this day. If you look up to your right, you'll see that all the trees and then houses on that shoreline. That is the infamous Ford Island. And those houses that you see right there are still the original houses that were built in the 1920s. That's exactly what it looked like on December 7, 1941, with the exception of the Admiral McCleary Bridge that was built in 1998. So like I said, we're in the South Channel. This is still all military installation and military waters. So like if you, we get this question a lot right here, that's an MSC ship. That is your supply ship. That is where, when we get out to the sea, if there's still active duty ships, that's where we get our supplies and our fuel. So as we approach the memorial itself, you'll see these white cement structures in the water with names on them. You might be wondering what that is. Those are called mooring keys. That is where the battleships would have moored back on December 7th, 1941. All the ships, and this is the infamous battleship row, ladies and gentlemen, and all of the battleships would have been moored abreast in groups of two by two, all the way down, with the exception of the USS Nevada. You might be wondering why the mooring key right next to it doesn't have a name, because the USS Nevada was the only battleship that day to be moored alone. If you guys did not know, the USS Nevada was also the only ship to get underway that day, battleship to get underway that day. So as we approach the memorial, you'll see a white buoy in the water. You might be wondering what that white buoy is. That white buoy is tied directly to her stern. If you guys do not know what the stern is, that is the most backward or aft part of the USS Arizona. So it's the most backwards part, that is her stern. That's tied directly to it. The circular drum that you see right there, that is the base of gun turret number 3. So when we go up to the USS Missouri today, you'll look at her gun turrets. That right there would have been the active gun turret number 3 for the USS Arizona. There's one remaining gun turret still on board the Arizona till this day, and that's more forward, but when we can move forward, I'll show you exactly where it's at. So now that we're coming to the more forward part of the memorial, on this part right here, that is where the oil still leaks to this day. It's about 1 to 2 drops per minute. Actually, earlier this morning when the wind is real calm, you actually still be able to smell the fuel from the water. It leaks about 2 to 9 quarts per day. It does not pose a safety hazard or environmental hazard. As you can imagine, it would be a much more hazard if there was a fuel oil leak, if they went in and tried to get it. Also, ladies and gentlemen, it is a cemetery. It is a tomb, so if they went in there, it'd just be disturbing the peace and the people that rest in that tomb today. The next thing you'll see is the USS Vestal, AR. That was an auxiliary repair ship. If you guys did not know, the USS Arizona was not stationed here in Hawaii. She was actually stationed in California. She was getting ready to go underway when she took 1.4 million gallons of fuel oil. She was about to get underway on December 6, 1941, when they found a hole on her port side. That's when the vessel actually came alongside her. That was the only non-battleship to be on Battleship Row that day. The next names you'll see are the USS Tennessee and the USS West Virginia. The USS Tennessee was more near the shoreline, was inboard, and the USS West Virginia was outboard, more in the inner part of the harbor. And as we come up, you'll see this battleship in the water. This is the USS Missouri. The USS Missouri was not present on December 7th, 1941. She actually wasn't even commissioned. She was commissioned in 1944. What was there was the USS Oklahoma. You guys did not know the USS Oklahoma was actually going through an inspection on December 7th, 1941. She had all of her hatches logged open. That's when she took about 8 torpedoes on her side and completely flipped over. So the USS Oklahoma was a Pennsylvania-class battleship. What you see right here is an Iowa-class battleship. The Iowa-class battleships are actually about 300 feet larger and longer than the Pennsylvania-class, but still to give you an understanding of what it would have looked like. If you could imagine the Missouri completely flipped over, you would see her. You would have saw her propellers, you would have saw her keel. That's what the Oklahoma would have looked like right here. Her mast actually was on the harbor floor. So as we make this turn, if you can kind of look this direction right here, ladies and gentlemen, that is the entrance and exit for Pearl Harbor. That is where the USS Nevada actually made it to. If you look to the left of the entrance, you'll see a grouping of palm trees. That is Hospital Point. That is where the USS Nevada made it to. So about 7:55 in the morning, the first wave of planes came from the Waianae Mountains, the North Shore area. You can imagine it was absolute chaos here. There was debris, there was flames, there was oil absolutely everywhere. That's when the captain of the USS Nevada decided to make open steam out towards sea. So you can imagine, like I said, it was chaos. All the sailor and Marines were looking at the USS Nevada going out to sea. It was truly a morale builder. That's when the second wave of planes came around 9 in the morning from the southeast area over by Diamond Head. That's when the captain of the USS Nevada decided to run her aground. If you guys do not know what that is, that's when the keel or the bottom of the ship actually touched the harbor floor. He did that to prevent the Nevada from sinking, and actually played a vital role because the Nevada was able to be salvaged and put back into service in World War II. And like I said, the USS Missouri was not here on December 7, 1941, but she did partake in World War II. If you actually look at the dent on her hull in the back part right below that basketball hoop, that dent is from a kamikaze plane that flew directly into her hull in the Battle of Okinawa. That kamikaze plane flew directly in it, but it was carrying a 500-pound bomb. That bomb did not detonate. If it did detonate, we might not be looking at the Missouri today. The torso, actually, of that pilot made it on board the Missouri. That's when the crew members of the Missouri were actually going to take the torso of that pilot and throw it back into the ocean. That's when the captain of the Missouri told them not to. It actually was very controversial because it was about the first burial at sea in World War II. That Japanese boy that flew his plane into the hull of the Missouri was 19 years old.